Football is the most popular sport in the United States today. Nearly 100 million viewers tune in each week to watch NFL and college football games. With this amount of popularity, football and the athletes that play it can be very influential. Drew Brees was signed by the New Orleans Saints in 2006, just 1 year following Hurricane Katrina. In the city's darkest of times, Brees gave inspiration through the game of football and the dedication of rebuilding the city. As a resident of the Gulf Coast, hurricanes and the destruction they bring is a way of life for us. However, tough times pull communities together to act as one, fighting for one cause. Drew Brees gave hope to a city that was destroyed with rebuilding efforts of schools and homes, along with turning around the Saints franchise into a Super Bowl winning team a few years later in 2009. It takes a special person to put a whole city on his back and give hope where there seemed to be none. Drew Brees helped rebuild many schools, churches, and neighborhoods in the years following Hurricane Katrina. Katrina made landfall on August 29, 2005, as a Category 5 with sustained winds of 140 miles per hour. Flood damage was the major problem for the city of New Orleans, with 80% of the city being underwater at one point. This total damages near an estimated $150 billion throughout the Gulf Coast. With this type of catastrophe, it took years to rebuild most of the affected area. Since 2005, Brees has raised over $25 million for various rebuilding projects. However, his impact on the city went much further than just physical rebuilding. Football and the Saints are loved in the city of New Orleans. It is hard to describe the atmosphere inside the Superdome and the passions fans have around the city. In the early 2000s, the Saints were a lost cause as a football team. It wasn't until Drew Brees took over as QB in 2006 that the Saints started building the team around him and ended up winning a Super Bowl in 2009 over the Colts. This gave residents of New Orleans a reason for hope and gave the Saints a reason to play for their city. The city of New Orleans would not be the same today without the help of Drew Brees on and off the field. Though I may be slightly biased for the New Orleans Saints, the impact Drew Brees had on the city of New Orleans is very special. The hope he gave to residents was priceless and provided a definition of how a professional athlete should act and display himself. He helped rebuild the city and the team of the Saints after one of the worst catastrophes in the history of the U.S. It is amazing what can happen when a large group combines as one with great leadership like Drew Brees.